What up, fish people? Kenny E and the lovely Danny E here for another Sunday night shenanigans. The same time, same place, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, like it's been for the last 5 years. Anyway, her and we've been binge watching. We did some water changes this morning, made a dump run, and then binge watched the show that she got us into now.
Well, we were dump running because we're trying to really get those tank stands out of the garage and bring them down into the family room and
Get the 135s transferred with their new paint on the back and all cleaned up and rescaped, and start getting our big boy room broke down so we can rip the carpet out of there, that's going to be an additional bedroom per se.
yeah. Hopefully.
So we're getting there. So we'll run through the hellos. Hallie, Freaky Fish Lady, welcome. Fish on Tactics, good to see you. Ryan with PNW Aqua, good to see you, sir. Mr. Chew, always a pleasure. Liquid Zoo, thanks for coming, Matt. Whips World, how are you, sir? Atkins Nature Aquariums, Rico Stan, good to see you. Lady Dye, good to see you. Sam, always a pleasure. Belinda, good to see you, my dear. Aqua Negro, peace out, bro. What's going on?
Lady Diane, you sound so violent. Smash it!
Yes, smash
that! I giggled when I saw that.
How you doing, Window Liquor? Good to see you. Glad you could make the member stream this morning. It's good to see you there as well.
So Ian's asking when you need that tank removed. Soon. we're getting close.
Well, he actually is ready for it to. I think he's going to take the mud skipper and all. So I was just going to give him that whole setup, filter everything, so we don't have to change nothing.
Okay. Yeah. So whenever you want to come over and get it, Ian, that'll be really fun. Window Liquor number 5. Hi.
I'll give you a bunch of salt too, Ian. I know you probably will use it.
What do we have? 2 bags of that salt?
Yeah. Maybe put a.
You'll need to keep one just in case we need it for medicating. But I cleaned out that little 5-gallon that we had, and I scrubbed it all out, and I put it out in the garage with the other clean tank that I have that's ready to go. And so, yeah, Ken and I were trying to get a bunch of stuff in the dump run because there's some old tanks that don't hold water and stuff like that. So we need to get those taken to the dump, and but nothing would fit into the truck.
We're going to recapture our backyard so we don't look like an episode of Hoarders.
All these empty tanks outside. And they can totally do an episode here.
How you doing, Kim? Good to see you. Byron, good to see you. Stephen P. Aquatic Moose, welcome everyone. Phil Meyer,
I wish,
good to see you, sir.
I wish this showed how crystal clear the water is in here right now. It's like very clear. Oh, this is a problem.
You can't, that you have darkened out there. You think it looks cloudy. I just did that one yesterday. It's not cloudy.
It's got particles in the water.
So we probably need to get a filter on that one of some sort. Sponges and doing the job for those.
Yeah, we need to for sure get like a HOB on it. I think I left enough room in the back to put one on there. But Ian says that's how I feel. Got like 7 tanks outside, 4 more in the garage. That's like us.
How's it going, Kat? Good to see you. Miss Kimberly Holtz, we are missing you, sister. She's coming in on the Facebook side tonight.
Hi. Aquatic Moose, hello. And Byron, hello. Very fun.
Yeah, Rachel Boots Cat's nickname for aquatic mooses. She calls them Moosey.
Moosey. So he says, Aquatic Moose says, if you set the tanks up, you're not a hoarder anymore.
That would be counterproductive for what we're trying to get done, Moose. Yeah, what sucks is I got a 55 out there that was probably 2 months old when it popped a. So that was pretty discouraging.
Yeah, that was a brand new 55. That sucked. Ian says, I picked up the habit from you guys.
Yeah, but we are staying within mission guidelines, and we're getting bigger tanks that we plan to put fish in. Matter of fact, I finally decided the 180 in the garage, acrylic, I'm going to get that cleaned up. I'm going to get the 240s that are on the stand right now out of there. I'm going to get that 180 set up on stand, and I'm going to see if Danny thinks I'm going to have to stick with the black on that one.
No, it's got a blue background, and it's not a pretty blue. You're going to have tall plants or something on that back wall.
I'll turn that into the Frontosa tank, and I'll put the lace rock taller, and you'll see little sections of that blue.
Okay, that'll work.
But anyway, I want to work on getting that done. That's my goal before the end of February. I get that up and get the 2 stands in and the 135s on those 2 stands. And that should start the beginning of getting everything in the order in which her and I are trying to get it at this point.
Yeah.
That will allow us to then break down. I mean, we might still have to move stuff over there for temporary while we're getting the other room broke down and painted to our liking. But we'll at least be done with the rack room and done with the big boy room. The big boy room will be part of the showroom, and then everything else should work out.
Aquatic Moose says, me too. I don't know if I should try to reseal my 3-month-old 40 breeder after it leaked. Seems risky.
Danny and I learned a long time ago. We tried to be heroes like that when we first got into the hobby. And when you take your hours and time and all the cost there is redoing that tank, it ends up costing you money to redo it. Your best bet is to just bite the bullet, go out and buy a new 40 gallon. I know there's some on the bigger tanks people think it pays off, but I'm telling you, I've seen too many people that do a lot of the sealing and redoing the tanks on their own, and they fail a lot more than they succeed.
Byron says if the tanks outside fill with rainwater for green water, is that still hoarding? Well, yes, especially if the tanks don't hold water. Scotty Aquati. Well, hello. You said hi,
How you doing, Scotty? Vibes, what's up, brother? Jenna P, good to see you.
So yeah, with all these tanks that we've got sitting outside, and then I'm trying to clean up the ones that hold water and are good and that we want to get rid of. I'm trying to get them all cleaned up and put them in one place in the garage so we can take them down to the Willamette Valley Aquarium Society, and we will hopefully get those gone down there. They're a bunch of smaller tanks, which a lot of people are into. So,
or just throw them on Craigslist.
Yeah, Aquatic Moose says, thanks, guys, for releasing me from the guilt. Thanks, Ian. I'm suspicious that the panes aren't exactly lined up, and that's why it failed. Yeah, could be. Absolutely could be. Oh, my goodness. Hang on, I'll be right back.
So Roland says that we're not even close to being hoarders because he's got 20 tanks in front and 15 more down by the barn. I am talking. Let's see here.
Apologies. All of a sudden, I couldn't breathe. Don't know what's going on there.
What's
So
up,
I don't
Melvin?
know
Good
what to
see you,
do
buddy.
with this one tank in here. I've got one Pleco tank that has long fin babies that are being born into it. I just got the zebra cars out of that tank, and now I'm letting the long fin plecos that were in there just breed away. But the babies seem to stay mostly really super tiny. They're not like growing like all the other tanks and plecos that we have. Like I can't get over how many larger ones are starting to occupy the super reds that we have downstairs, Kenny. I was looking at those earlier. They're getting huge.
Well, we will point out a very simple fact.
What?
We'll refer to who's in charge of upstairs tanks, who's in charge of downstairs tanks.
What does that have to do with it? I've always grown plecos up here well. So
Be truthful, what are you feeding them?
Green beans, tetracolor tropical granules. That's about it.
Yeah, see, mine get a little sneak treat of bloodworms occasionally, and then I give them little chunks of brine occasionally, so it gives them some extra protein.
Yeah, I should throw some brine in here. That's a good idea. We've got plenty of it. So Ken sold a bunch of the gudgeons to one of the local pet stores here, and they went bonkers over them.
Yeah, they were like, "Why didn't you tell us we had the?" I said I did several times. But yeah, they are we just love them, man, the Gudgeons. They are really cool. And she was talking to maybe we should move them down somewhere else, but I don't know, man. I kind of like their personalities, especially come summer when I'm going out on the back deck all the time. Those fish are very up in your business.
They are up in your business, and they're not skittish. So, like when you walk by the tank, they watch you. They're like, "Hello,
Yeah, they're like,
hi,
well,
we're
like,
here."
I just think, oh, we got some food.
And in the evenings, if I come walking anywhere in near the dining room, they all start swimming to the front of the tank. No, Lady Diane, we did not breed our zebra acaras. I don't know if the water wasn't right, but they just never bred for me. I'd made them softer water like they like. I'd done everything I could think of to get them to breed, but they just did not seem interested in one another. I had 2 or 3 pairs in there, and they just didn't want to have anything to do with each other. So, passing wind, says Daniken. You can't breathe because you're finally starting to have your gills mature. Oh. Did you say hi to Sage?
I did not. Or Gina. I see Gina just came
Hi.
in too.
Passing wind, Daniken. I find if you play some Barry White music and light some patchouli incense, no thank you. Turn the lights down low. Definitely increases the breeding. I have a weird nose, and patchouli does not agree with me. But like, I can't smell skunks. I can't smell marijuana. There's several things that I can't smell, and some of the things I can smell are different than the way other people would smell them, from what I gather. So, so Kenny helped me get out the old bed set out of the garage because that was in front of the boats and that was in front of one of the tank stands that we want to bring down into the family room. And so at least we got that cleared out. But that whole bed set filled up our truck. So we had no room for any other junk.
I think we're going to probably do another run this coming weekend. I want to start getting stuff out of the backyard. I want to try to recover that upper yard. I don't think we even need the fire pit up there anymore, do we? Nobody's going to use it probably.
No. So then we're looking forward to being able to get the boat out a bit this summer. Yay. And my kids are already thinking of family camping trips. So they've picked a new spot that's like 3 hours from so it's 3 hours to my son, 3 hours to my daughter, and my son picked a place that's 3 hours away for all of us to meet for camping and fishing this summer. So that'll be some fun times. But once we can get these fish tanks out of the garage, I think that'll really help Kenny and I get towards our goal of
Thank you, Cooley.
what?
Thank you.
No, you guys do not understand the torture that I went through with the last Basset that we had. And I told Ken, I will never have a Basset again. That dog was the most evil dog we have ever had. The only one she liked was Ken. She used to take her long body and short legs and jump, and pull pizzas off my kitchen counter. And if you tried to get her out of the way, like if you tried to push her out of the way, she would bite you. And if so, I had to get a broom and I tried to sweep her out of the way. She attacked the broom.
She's trying to eradicate a whole breed of dog based on one dog.
It was torture having that Basset Hound. Torture. I think you should get a corgi instead.
No.
They're long, they're short, and they're so cute.
But they don't flip over their ears when they're walking.
I'm not kidding you guys. Literally, the Basset Hound was the nightmare dog for me. And how old was she like 13 or 14 when she passed? I don't remember.
Yeah, she was up there.
Well, and then Ken, he leaves to go back east to visit his family. And all of a sudden, now this dog has been she got really gaunt in the face and she started losing weight.
Oh my goodness.
You guys don't understand. You really don't understand the torture that I went through with that dog.
Hey, now my Basset Hound was not scared of water there passing wind.
No, she wasn't. She would go running off the end of the dock, poof, right into the water.
She was funny. She kind of flopped in, and then her ears would be. She'd be dog paddling. Her ears would be flopping in the water behind her.
She was horrible. Horrible. Yeah, too coolie for schoolie, says Nathan with the guilt trip. You're not going to guilt trip me. I'm the one that lived with the horror that was that dog. And she was so inappropriately named because her name was Milady and the dog was anything but.
You know, she's not even here to defend herself.
Storm Rider, you're right. She was a female cute Cujo. She literally would attack you if you tried to get near any food she successfully got off the kitchen counter. And I literally had to put it like up on the kitchen counter because anything I put on the kitchen counter was fair game for her. And she seemed to know which side of that island I would put it on. And she would jump from the right side of the island. I don't know if she like jumped and went, oh, I see it over there, and went around and did it. But she was terrible. Terrible. Lady Diane, Basset Hound. Yes, it was a Basset Hound, and she was the most horrible dog we've ever had.
No.
Yes. But she would always sleep curled up next to Kenny. And she stunk. Oh my gosh, that dog stunk. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's only because you wouldn't take care of business when all you had to do is get your finger in her butt and squeeze out that anal gland, and then she would have stunk.
Oh my god. No, Boots and Cats. That dog was the horror of all horrors to have as a pet. And yes, she was cute. So cute when she was little. I have little squares on my kitchen.
We are wore out of cats, trust me. Although I will say that our friends have one that I've taken a liking to. And I would probably like having maybe one cat, but not till Shiva's gone, because I don't think she'd appreciate a cat. Well, look who came in. Good to see you, Shanna Banana.
Thank you, Passing Wind. He says, large, vicious teeth, pointy fangs, and an unquenchable desire for blood. These are traits that are well known for Basset Hounds. A nightmare. Basset Hounds can be evil. Thank you. Yes. Because Ken keeps running to me and saying, please. And he's showing me this picture of the baby puppy Basset Hound. I'm like, no. Hi, Shanna. How are you? I mean, I seriously cannot tell you how much I don't want a Basset Hound ever again. This is what he keeps showing to me. Please. No.
Oh my gosh. It's like her revisited.
Oh my gosh, that looks exactly like our Basset Hound. Oh my gosh, only her ears aren't quite as long.
I think I just found my next dog.
No. Need a sawed-off shotgun to go with that hound dog. Ken loves hound dogs. He absolutely loves hound dogs. Yeah, Dalmatians are not nice dogs. They're like a one-owner dog, and they're not all friendly and cute like you think they are. Nope. And yet, we had this gigantic, big Rottweiler that was just the sweetest thing. It was sweet until it bit Ken.
Yeah, we've had a couple Rottweilers with her, and she still was the boss. She didn't take their crap.
Yeah, because we had the Basset Hound before we got the Rottweilers. In fact, I had to go get her fixed before we could bring home the Rottweiler. So we got her fixed, and then we kept her down or her upstairs, and then we brought home the Rottweiler, but we had to let the Basset Hound heal for a little bit and introduce him kind of slowly. So we kept the Rottweiler downstairs and the Basset Hound upstairs, and then we were kind of introducing them. They got along fine. See, that's the thing about Rotties. They're so sweet. Although,
If
and
you're
really,
supposed to be in the house, they are.
what?
If you're not somebody that's not supposed to be around, they weren't sweet.
Well, and they don't like to be woke up, as Ken found out, because the dog was sleeping on the bed, and Ken went down and grabbed his head and was like in his face, and he goes, snap.
He got me good. I could stick.
I know he's got scars.
It freaked Danny out. I thought she was gonna faint. I said, "Did you get me good?" And I purposely stuck my tongue through my cheek because I could feel it was through it. I thought she was gonna faint.
That was awful. That was really awful. Because I thought, oh no, we got to get rid of the dog. Because I thought for sure Ken was going to make me get rid of it. See, I don't want a big, mean dog, especially with grandchildren that might come over. I cannot have a mean dog. I have to have.
I almost think Danny and I will always have a bigger dog at the house, though. You just sleep easier at night knowing you got a dog there.
I would like a medium-sized dog, smaller than Shiva, but larger than. But my favorite breed, really, are Dachshunds. But I think Ken's talked himself out of one of those. Ken needs a bully. No, you know what Ken likes? Ken likes a dog that gets in trouble. So Lady was his perfect dog. The good thing about the dog, this is the one good thing I have to say about that Basset Hound. She never went to the bathroom in the house. Not until she was like super old, and literally she was dying when she went potty in the house. And that's how I knew that her kidneys were failing. But man.
Well, Shiva's, had a rough day, Shanna. Dog is pathetic, man. Shiva, stay. Good girl. Shiva, don't move. Good girl.
American Dingo, lots of mischief and very snuggly. Yeah.
Now she's giving me a dirty look. What's the matter?
So Whips World says Rotties are not sweet. They're sweet to their mom or their dad, and that's it. I'd rather have a Doberman if I'm going that route. Well, Shiva's half Doberman.
Yeah, she's part Doberman, part German Shepherd.
Yep. So I don't know. See, our Rottweiler was such a great Rottweiler, and he loved kids. And he would sleep in my daughter's room, and he wouldn't let anybody walk into her room if she was sleeping. He would growl at you, even Kenny and I. Huh?
So one of our friends didn't believe us and tried to go in there.
Yeah. And why were you trying to go in my daughter's room anyway while she was sleeping? I didn't appreciate that. But he found out real quick.
Actually, passing wind. The other thing I would be down for is little baby Billy Goat.
Oh my God. Ken wants
a picture of him hopping around all these chairs in here. I think that would be hilarious.
We are not having a goat in the house. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
Yeah, my daughter has your same affliction there, Whip. She loves any of the any of the Huskies or Malamute. She had about a 200-pound Malamute that they had to put down last year near the end of the year there. Then he was a behemoth. His paws were like two of my fists.
Yeah. He was
So I
huge.
talk about a gentle giant.
Yeah. Except he didn't like Shiva.
No, he hated Shiva for some reason.
Stephen P says goats are only cute in theory. Ken watches goat videos like you would not, and you just can't even imagine. And we have a friend that's a goat farmer, and she's going to invite him when all the baby goats come in. So Ken's got a standing invitation when the baby goats are starting to be born to go down and play with baby goats.
See, Pastor Winston, my wife got me a goat. I walked it around like a dog on a leash.
Passing Land says, my wife got me a goat without horns. It was black and white, and I used to walk it with a leash around the neighborhood and tell people that it was a Royal Great Britain.
In case you guys didn't understand it when I was reading it, Danny.
Oh, I didn't realize that you read it. I was like focused.
And they say men don't listen to their wives. What?
Well, that's me for sure when I'm reading, because I focus in when I'm reading, and it's like things could be exploding around me, and I would not pay attention to it. Lady Diane, I've had goats. You don't want goats. Do not go feed babies. It's a trap.
I just want to see him bouncing in all my furniture. And
to Cooley, just for Schoolie says, yes, house goat. No, we tried that. We tried to potty train ducks. And then we ended up with how many ducks?
Too many ducks.
There were like probably close to 100 ducks. And they kept flying over the fence and landing in my neighbor's yard. And these ducks were as big as geese. I'm not even kidding. And my neighbor's like, what are these weird geese that keep landing in my yard? I'm like, sorry, I'll be over to get my duck in a minute. They're like, it's a duck?
They're destructive too, Rachel. They've gnawed the whole side of our siding on the lower level down there. They
always getting bugs. But my daughter used to take her duck and go walking, and the duck would follow her all over the neighborhood. Ooh, yeah. See, I need something that's gonna get along with everything. Australian Shepherds. Now they're a very cool dog. We should probably talk about fish, though.
Yeah. What's going on, Lisa NJ? Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well at work this evening. I know you work while on our stream.
So I don't know if you could see these fish, man. This water is so clear in here. It's just like amazing.
Well, maybe when you're rearranging your office, once we get that stuff cleared out, you can make it so it's a front-on shot of that tank.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. Because they're just amazing. They're doing so good. They're like so happy. I don't know what about, I did a huge water change down to about here. And then I also cleaned out my filter. But there's also 2 sponge filters in this tank. So kept bacteria in the tank and everything. So that's good. I didn't want to crash the tank by doing all that. But they're just really enjoying this most recent water change.
Oh, man. Tom said he went to a swap today and gave away about 30 Bosemani rainbows.
Oh my gosh. Why'd you give away that many? Were people not buying? I can't imagine that people wouldn't buy them.
We were at one point considering pugs, but pugs have a lot of medical issues. You always got
Yeah.
to do stuff with their eyes and their snouts, and
Oh, see, now I love Bernese Mountain Dogs, but one, they don't live long. They're very prone to cancer. They get the hip dysplasia, and they don't do well with heat. So, like in the summer, they're miserable, and we don't have like central air, so that dog would be miserable.
our the last Roddy we had, that's what he was Rottweiler Bernese Mountain Dog,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
he had the softest fur. I mean, soft. And he had the mountain dog attitude. He was pretty chill.
I agree, Sage. Middle-sized mutt is best.
Oh,
I
we
agree.
never buy pure breed anything. We always save them from a pound.
Well, we don't. Yeah, I don't buy
And the
dogs
dog
generally.
has to.
The
I'll
rescues
know the
usually.
right dog when I walk in. It just instantly feel the dog, and it's never failed me yet. Has it been yet?
It sounds like you need a working and twerking dog.
Uh, Eat an extra fish. That's hilarious.
That is funny. Get a seal.
Could you imagine Jeremy coming over and we got a full-fledged seal living in a swimming pool in our basement? I could just see his
No,
face now. I
no.
think they would then probably call it the intervention people in. I think that would probably put them over the edge.
Yeah, for sure. It's Lady Diane. Mini pigs are better. I
I
wanted a
wouldn't be
pig at
mad with a
one
little
time,
pot-bellied pig either, a little bitty one.
but they get so big. They don't stay tiny unless you starve
And not
them.
to mention, I cannot even imagine if it decides to have an accident, the kind of cleanup that you need to do on that. That don't even sound fun.
Lisa and Jay says, tell the seal story. Yes, Ken, tell the seal story.
Well, that wasn't which steel story, the one where they got slaughtered by the killer whales.
You're not supposed to tell what happened. You're supposed to tell the story.
No. Or were you talking about the sea lion incident on the river?
No, either one.
Or then there was the seal story. I thought it was a seal. It might have been a sea lion on yeah. So anyway, my wife and I, when we first got to Oregon, obviously the first thing we really wanted to engage was the coast. So we got all of our stuff and we got all 4 kids, the 2 dogs, all the stuff that goes with them. And we hop in the van and we head into Halem Bay. And obviously I brought night crawlers and all this other. I had never fished much saltwater whatsoever. So we didn't have all the right gear. But then I started learning the laws of the land and whatever. But we noticed that people were catching these crabs. So we had squid because I knew that from my Hawaii ties. I did bring squid, and I kept noticing them biting all my stuff off. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and re-rig this thing, and I put a bunch of fishing line, tied little lassos on it, and I threw that hook out again with a big chunk of squid, and I could see they were playing with it, and I yanked. So the first time I did yank it, and there's like 3 crabs that had all gotten lassoed. My little trap that I made worked. So when I'm pulling in these crabs and I'm getting them up, all of a sudden I see 2 eyeballs. Well, this goofy little seal came up and jumped out and was just looking up to me like a damn begging dog. I'm like, oh. So of course I started pitching him down some squid and was feeding him and stuff. So anyway, and the day came. The dang thing came all the way out onto the grass. I thought it was going to follow us home, but we left and he ended up going back in the water, all cool. So we were so excited. That was our first adventure at the coast. So we got super excited, went back to that. And keep in mind, this is probably 3 hours each way, 6 hours of driving to go make this all happen every time. So we run down there the next day. I'm all excited. And there was this old fisherman that was fishing there that night. and he stayed and fished or whatever. And he saw it. And he goes, "What are you looking for your buddy?" I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Your buddy's gone." I said, "What do you mean he's gone? They left or something?" He goes, "Oh no." He said a pod of killer whales came in last night, trading their babies, and I watched them slaughter the whole pod of seals. They killed every one of them. So I'm like crushed. I'm like, and I've never been back to that spot since. I never went back to Nehalem Bay in that spot because it's painful. Never will I go back there. But oh, there's my brother. Yawn.
But yes, Ken's had a few incidents with sea mammals.
Yeah. I was fishing the Columbia one time out here, and I'm really into them, like I always am, just doing my walleye. I'm jigging, just trying to pay attention. And I heard some splash behind me. I assumed it was a carp or something. And all of a sudden, my boat kind of tilts, and I look back there, and it's a Rottweiler head staring at me. He's got himself propped up on the back of my boat, looking at me. So I freak out, and I look at him, and then all of a sudden he goes, I started the motor and just gunned it, flipped him off the back of it. I'm out of there, man. Guy freaked me out. Those things got big teeth anyway. So I thought I went far enough. I went like 2 miles, river miles up river. I get all in. I'm getting ready to fish again. And all of a sudden I look back, and he's doing one of these numbers, cruising, coming at me full steam. I'm like, what in the hell do I got to do to ditch this thing? He chased me to 3 different spots. I don't know what he was enthralled about me, but he wanted to hang out with me.
Lisa and Jay.
Those things are huge, man. I'm telling you. You don't understand how big they are until you see them up close. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. That's a first story, Danielle. Dang it. I forgot about that story, too.
That was our anniversary.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ken planned this beautiful trip to the beach. He had rented us a hotel for the night with a balcony and a really nice back deck and just this cute little
lighting that you're going out to with all these different sexual purples and blues. It was just cool.
And so we get there and we're looking at the place and it's really cute. We walk out on the back deck. We open the door and it was like this horrible odor hits us. It was horrific. And we go, we're like, what is that smell? We walk out on the back deck and there's this giant sea lion dead right on the other side of the balcony.
Oh, it was foul, man. I mean, foul. I mean, it was bad. But we didn't let it get it. We went and had a nice dinner downtown, walked down there, and it was a nice night. Hey, GRB, good to see you, mister. I hope you're doing well.
Whip has a question, Kenny.
So the parameters on a Fructosa, we keep ours at about 80 degrees, anywhere between 79 and 80. You're going to be good. They tend to like a little higher pH.
So we put the water hardening lace rock in there.
That along with coral rock works good too.
Yep.
And if you still aren't there, which you're in the Midwest, so there's a shot, you're probably not going to have to do much if you're, depending on where you're at. I mean, in a lot of the area back there is hard liquid rock anyway. They should be just loving your natural water. But they do sell the African rift salts too that you can get if you want to really make them feel good. I usually do one of those salt things every third water change. Something about the vitamins in that just makes the Fructosa and any other Africans pop.
Yes, passing wind. There's nothing more romantic than the smell of rotting, decaying flesh. I'm telling you, poor Ken, you should have seen the look on Ken's face when we saw the dead sea lion, because his face just fell and he looks at me and he goes, how come something like this happens every time I try to plan something nice for us to do?
It does, though. It really does.
Oh.
Try to get the romantic trip up to Skamania that time, and you're trying to get all gussied up for me, and remember how hot it was? It was like
we don't tell that story, Kenneth. Stop right now. No. Oh. Yes, Lisa and Jay, it is a great story years later. But that's what happens to all of Ken's things. Something horrific happens, and then later on we end up laughing our butts off about it.
Big Steve. He said he went camping one time, never had been there before, looked at the map, looked like it was close to the water. They set up after dark so they didn't get to see anything. He woke up the next morning and it was 100-foot cliff overlooking the water. So he said, I guess the canoe was out. I would have been more concerned. Be glad you weren't like trying to explore and run off that cliff.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably what would have happened to me.
Yeah. Well, we tried to go camping when I was younger, and my mom and dad, we got there after dark. My mom and dad set up the tent, and the next morning there were ants covering the tent, just everywhere, ants. My parents had pitched the tent on top of an ant mound. It was awful. We had to move sites.
Graham Domain says, do you all realize if Kenny goes to Australia, there's 100% shot he's going to get into it with a kangaroo, dingo, or croc?
Well, he almost had an incident with the croc once.
How you doing, Ed? Yes, that is Miss Shanna Banana. 2 weeks in a row, mind you, she's been in this stream.
Yeah. How great is that? Oh. Passman, yeah, just hold an umbrella when you jump.
Yeah, Danny don't like spiders. You know that, Mike. It was funny. First time we taken my truck as a family, me, her, and the dog hopped in because the dog's glad. The minute she saw that red truck, she was excited. She's like, oh, yeah, my riding machine. So anyway, I took her for a ride, and Danny, I look at her, she's just terrified. I went, what's the matter? She goes, there's a spider's nest right here.
It literally had made a funnel down into the window where the window like rolls down into, and it was all over the front part of the door on the passenger side. And I'm like, ah! And then we had to roll down the window, and I was afraid that was going to make whatever it was come out. Thank goodness it did not. Passing wind. How does one raise shrimp if one is afraid of spiders? Well, shrimp are not spiders. And shrimp don't bite me.
There'll be a male platypus that takes me out. Trust me, it's going to be like going into a antique store. My rules when I'm in an antique store, I've got to have my hands here.
Yes. Ken's not allowed to flap his arms or do anything. He has to keep his arms at his sides or crossed while we're in a store.
Yep. Hey, I'll put it on whoever's I'm with. They know what I'm capable of, so they hopefully will keep us away from that kind of stuff. Like when we go to the beaches in Australia, I'm not picking up any shells. I'm not touching any shells. I'm not looking at anything. I'll take pictures. That's it.
Your brother says he does the same thing. He says that's why we have pockets. Big Steve's Glassbox Creation says, does he typically flap his wings in a store? Don't get me started because Ken is extremely animated when he talks. Yeah, he
Oh my God. He says when your arms are halfway down your thighs. Oh, caw. What did she say? Caw.
You should see him when he's in a fishing store. Oh my gosh.
Well,
Poor Kenny. But I was looking in the tank next to my bed, and then I have 3 missing blueberry tetras. I don't know what is going on.
so they just lost 34-31, Daniela. That field goal they should have kicked came back to get them.
That's so sad.
Well, they still had a good year.
Yeah. I was rooting for him, which I never root for anybody, so that was a big deal for me to root for somebody.
And my wife and I went to our good friend Dawn's funeral yesterday, and that was awesome the way they set it up. Wasn't a typical funeral. They had this country singer lady singing songs, and then they had this beautiful big screen TV going with all these pictures of Dawn throughout her life, and it was good. I hate to see her go.
That hit me hard. But today's a little better day. Going along, getting stuff accomplished, working towards getting all those tanks set up the way we want. And it's just like a slow process. Every time we go to do something, it's like we have to do 10 other things to get to that item. It's like, GRB Aquatics. I'm planning on entering the world of blind cave tetras. I hope to pick up a nice school later today. Well, very cool.
Lisa NJ, you have been a mod of my channel. You don't have to ask my permission ever to post a link. If you find it worthy, I trust your thinking. So you're allowed to post whatever. It's why you have a wrench, my dear. Blind cave. I'm planning on entering the world of blind cave tetras. I hope to pick up a nice school of them later today.
Yep.
You know, you
didn't
Chandler,
listen to me talk about
Ed was going to do that too. I don't know if Ed, you're in here. Did you ever get your blind cave fish going? I know you were going to do it at one point. That's what he was working on. Oh my God, it's going to make me start giggling again. I can't even start thinking about it. His how do you say it? Staglite video.
Huh? Are you talking about stalagmites and stalactites?
Yes. Remember when Ed was making stalagmites? Because he was going to make this cave fish.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, blind cave tetras for my 5x2x2 all black decor tank with only albino fish, cories, and bristlenose. That's cool.
That would be cool. He had both, Mike, up and down.
Yeah. So Peplin says, hello. Hello, Alex. How are you doing? Your brother says, I can't believe you missed my Evelyn dig.
Mike, I've gotten very good at ignoring you over the years, homeboy.
Hit that like button like it called your mama a bad word, Alex says. Oh my goodness. That's funny.
So,
Mr. Edwards,
Yes.
who are you going to send everybody to after us?
You know, that changes weekly.
I know it does. That's why I'm asking now.
All right, I will see who is scheduled. Well, Corey and Father Fish are on, but they've been on all afternoon, so we don't need to go see them.
Oh. Alex says, I'm kind of crappy. My kitty hasn't been home in 4 days. I think the coyotes got her.
Oh, no. All right, Alex, I'll bring my pea shooter. We'll take out every coyote in that neighborhood.
no, you won't.
Oh, yeah, I can read the newscast
George
now.
says, me.
Who said this?
George.
Oh, George is going?
Yeah. I didn't realize you had that many coyotes in your neighborhood.
Well, think of how many are around here. It makes sense.
My friend calls her cat a serial killer because every day that cat brings her some new, like, mole or ground squirrel or something, bird. She's always got presents on her back porch. So he says, I've got my 22 IR. I have a 6-foot rise on my property. If I see one again, they're done. Oh. Boots and Cat says, I've heard that human hair deters coyotes. So if I clean out my brush, I should be able to protect the whole West Coast.
Well, I put his link up there with a good hashtag.
What's the hashtag?
Hashtag hound.
Hound. No hound. No Basset. No.
Cooley says, ha!
Kalish says, all the good cats are killers.
Well, I hope your kitty comes back, Alex. That's always sucks when you lose a cat. I know how that feeling is.
Oh. Mike says, and sometimes they bring them in for us.
Yes. What's worse, though, is when they bring that something in and they're just sharing with you and not bringing it to you, because then there's half of a surprise for you in there.
Binks used to do that with baby bunnies. That's not good. Our neighborhood was being overrun by bunnies because our neighbors had a bunch of bunnies in a pen, and the little kids whose bunnies they were let them out of the pen, and they ran all over the neighborhood and procreated everywhere. But then we had a giant influx of falcons.
We got falcons, we got coyotes, we got everything that will eat a rabbit is in the area now.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen them much lately. It's funny how nature takes care of things rather fast and efficiently. Of course, probably made it pretty easy for the hawks and owls and all that. I mean, which one should I get? Okay, that gray one's kind of blended in the bush, but look at that bright white one. It's like a landing strip. Let's grab him.
Yeah. I sure hope your cat comes back. Okay, Kenny, it is 7.
See y'all next week. Head on over to Big George. And Danielle, you're always a minute ahead of me for some reason.
Well,
It is
my
7 now.
my computer's smart. Both my computers run this time. But you're right, you've always been a minute behind.
Anyway, guys, we appreciate all you. Thanks to everybody that stopped in. Of course, you guys are everything to us. All my members and replay crew, appreciate you guys. Lurkers, moderators, thanks, guys. Head on over to good old Georgie Porgy, #hound. Later, guys.